Hi Carson and Maddie. This will be your updated home exercise program this week. So let's start on your back and taking a moment to feel that the pelvis rests, the ribs rest, the head and the shoulders. And as much as you can, feel as evenly weighted on both sides, right and left side. We'll take a few breaths here with that image of the umbrella. So with your breath in, you want to fill up the rib cage 360 degrees, and with your exhale, we want to keep that sense of openness, but we do want to fully exhale. So allowing again our spine to lengthen and to rest on the mat. We'll go ahead and start with an exhale to lift the right leg. Inhale to bring the right leg down. Exhale to lift the left leg. Inhale to bring it down. So maybe about 6 times on each side, so about 12 total. And then going into both legs lifted. See if once again you can maintain the length of your spine. Hips resting, ribs resting, head resting. Feel the abdominals kind of dropping down versus popping up. And again, we're going to tap one of our feet towards the mat, whether it makes it or not, and then switch. See if you can do this and keep your shoulders pretty settled. Make sure you're breathing naturally. Again, let's go for maybe about 8 on each leg, maybe about 16 total. And once you're finished, we place one foot down, followed by the other. We're going to go ahead and go over onto the side, and resting on our side, we want to make sure again that it's kind of like our head, our ribs, our pelvis are up against a wall. If you'll notice, my knees are bent and stacked up, but here's the thought. We want to make sure that we don't kind of close off or have any compression in the spine. So there's a little sense of trying to almost kind of lift the ribs, try to lengthen the spine, and make sure that we don't have any areas along the back that are kind of closed off. We're going to move into that side leg kick. So my leg is at about hip level. I'm going to try to bring my knee forward as far as I can without rounding the spine. So I want to keep everything pretty good and still through the trunk. Then I take that knee back, or I should think about that thigh going back to about in line with the hip. So forward and back. Let's try for about 8 to 10 on each side. So of course you will repeat this or do the same exercise on the other side, paying attention to the length of the spine. We're going to roll over onto your stomachs. This is a great place to practice your breath work. So hands stacked and glued, but my elbows, it's like somebody's pulling them out wide, so I can really feel my ribs rest on the mat, my pelvis on the mat, and my my groin area and hip creases. So this is a great time to practice breathing into the sides of the rib cage, the back of the body, trying that umbrella breath here. Now, you would rest your head down on your hands, but just so you can hear me, I've got my head turned. You're going to tuck the toes under on one leg. The idea here is to straighten the knee, tightening the thigh, reaching back through the heel of the foot to really stretch kind of that Achilles tendon, and then lower down. So once again, tighten the thigh, straightening the knee, reaching back through the heel. My pelvis, my hip bones are steady, nice and still on the mat. I'm going to ask you for about 10 of these on each leg. And then last but not least today, we're going to come up to hands and knees. So with our hands and knees position, the goal would be if I laid a yardstick or something along your back, that the head, the ribs, the pelvis would be in line. So we want to avoid this, so kind of breaking that long line, or even this. So we want to feel that we're in a good straight line. We want to feel that our shoulders are nice and kind of strong, So again, we're not just hanging down on the shoulder joints. So I want to be nice and strong, nice and open across the back and the front. So from here, once you've got that position, what I'll ask of you is to try, without doing a lot of movement or shifting, you want to try to float one hand off the mat. And then transferring the weight, we get ourselves reset. You're going to try the other side. And again, let's try maybe about 4 on each arm, so alternating. You may rest and try that again. Thank you, ladies.